guys, welcome to our podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about friendships. We're going to be talking about friendships, being a girl's girl, how to find your tribe, and how to have the correct people around you. Of course, we're here with Nicole and Nancy. And Nancy, I want to start with you. Let's go cut to the chase. Have you ever have a friendship that it's no longer your friend?
Yes, definitely. I think as you get older, sometimes where you are and just the way your life used to line up with someone, as your life changes and the more you grow and life changes, you start having kids and those kind of things, who you're hanging out with every day obviously changes based on where your life's at. And so I wouldn't say lose friends, but you grow apart from friends.
So what happened? You guys just stopped vibing? Is just what happened?
I think definitely what you said, sometimes you're in people's lives for a season, is definitely a true thing. I mean, I don't have one specific scenario where this has happened. I have a few relationships that this has happened in. I don't think it's something specific that happened. I think we just kind of outgrew the space we were in. Like, I've had friends when, I worked the club life and,
You work at a club?
I did.
Bottle service.
I was a bottle service girl, which I actually really hate to come on here and talk about, only because people think being a realtor is everyone's third, fourth, and fifth career, and all bottle service is a meme. All bottle service girls become realtors, but I'm actually a full-time realtor. Okay, I'm not one over here just right. So, but there is a whole situation about that.
So that means that you're not friends anymore with your bottle service girls.
No, I didn't say that, and I love my girls. But you have the same lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
You are working late, you're getting off, you're doing all these things, you don't have kids, your life lines up. And then, as you grow and life changes, now I'm in the professional world, I'm no longer out until 3, 4 in the morning, I need my sleep, I'm older, I have kids. So you just kind of outgrow, and the lives don't necessarily line up like they used to, where you're out with your girlfriends all the time,
Exactly.
So it's not that you don't have love for them. It's more so you kind of love them from afar. I think that it's literally life specific of these changes with friends. And, that's why you have friends for a season, right? You have those people that get you through chapters of your life, and you'll never forget what they've done for you in those chapters. But then, unfortunately, you kind of grow apart.
I've had friends that were close to me, very close to me, and we're not longer friends.
Yeah.
Or
And I also think, like Nancy's saying, it's kind of we've all had different careers, and you tend to hang out with the people at your career because those are the people that you're spending time with.
Right.
And you form close bonds with them. But what happens when one or both of you go to a new career path?
Yeah.
Then you're spending time with a completely new set of colleagues, right? And you form different relationships, and you're talking about the same things at that point. So it's not like they necessarily did anything to end the friendship or anything crazy, but you've gone to another path. And as adults, we all have I think a bandwidth, especially raising kids. You only have so many hours in the day. You only have room for so many close relationships. And so I think naturally, as you move on to different parts of your life, you have to determine, what do I have time for? And it's nothing personal against said person, but you just kind of form those new connections and as you move on to different pastures.
I've had different ones. I have situations where we just change lifestyles, right? Either I was single and they were married, and I was in a relationship and they were single, and that makes a difference, right?
Yes.
Because this is a different lifestyle. I've had other situations where maybe I moved places. Some of these people stayed in San Antonio. I moved to Dallas. And then I have some where we had issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And part of the issues were probably we outgrew them. We changed, There's situations. There's sometimes third parties. There's other people. And I've had those, and those sometimes are the ones that hurt because you're like, you know me, right? Like we were friends, like we were building something, and now suddenly we just don't talk. So I think those are really hard to get over it.
It's like a death.
It
can be.
is. It is.
Yeah.
You feel like, where's my
Where's
friend?
my friend? Where's the person that was
That's
by
the
my
person
side?
that I now I'm gonna call her when something's going wrong. So what do you do when that happens, Nicole? When you had a situation, I don't know if you had one, maybe you did, but maybe one where like you had to go through the emotions of it.
There's two, and I won't name names, but there's two that really come up for me. One, I had been friends with a girl since I was like pretty much in high school, middle school, high school. And our relationship kind of had its ins and outs through the years. And most recently, we had a stint where we were hanging out again and kind of reforming our almost sisterhood bond. And then all of a sudden, I felt like why am I the one doing all the work? If that makes sense. Like, why do I have to reach out to make plans?
Totally.
Why do I have to see what you're doing and ask you to go out? And then if you can't for whatever reason, there is no follow up on your behalf. So if you're putting all the energy in, at some point, I was like, I need to protect my peace, my energy, and I don't feel like this is a reciprocal relationship. And when that happened, I went through a grieving process of this is reality and it's not what I hoped, but this is the reality of it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to myself. Right. So anyway, I'm no longer in contact with her. It wasn't like a brutal ending, but it's just one of those things where I felt like I wasn't getting the same type of energy in return. Right.
Yes.
I had another situation where I'd been really close with a colleague of mine for years. I was in his wedding, and we were just like thick as thieves. And he was also not only a work colleague, but obviously a good friend. But over a period of time, I found out that he was lying to me on a regular basis about something, and something huge, actually. And when I called him on it, there was unfortunately not a lot of remorse, not a lot of ownership. And that was, how you feel betrayal?
Yes.
That was like a betrayal trauma in my life. And it was almost like I had to grieve a death of a friendship that I was like, that friendship wasn't what I thought it was. That work relationship wasn't what I thought it was. And now I can't move forward as if nothing happened, right? You lied to me for over 2 years about something that's very, very serious. And anyway, I won't go into the nitty gritty on that, but I will say I grieved it. I cried. There was a feeling of almost death,
It feels like you're losing someone. It feels like you actually lost, like if they died.
Yes.
Like I won't see you again. Things won't be the same.
Things aren't going to be the same. And I'm not a big grudge holder. Like I don't hold grudges. No. I wish that person, as an example, nothing but the best. I actually like root for them from afar, But I just knew that I couldn't be like his sister going forward.
Yeah, and
the relationship had to change.
And something that I've learned, right? Something that as you were talking, I was thinking, there's something that you cannot control other people's decisions or actions towards you. Like there's so much that you can do, right? And at that moment, you have to come to Jesus with yourself. And like, just like they say, just let them be. Like, let them go. Let them.
Yeah.
Let them, right? Because it's really hard to just sometimes get stuck. Sometimes I get stuck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how can I get over this? And you just have to be like, just let them.
Mm-hmm. And I think forgiveness is a big part of it. Like I forgive that person as an example. I forgive him, but it doesn't mean that it's okay and I can just like pick up the relationship as if nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
I think a good thing in this situations with friendships, and my mom used to always say this to me, like, not everyone is like you. And when you remember that, when you move forward in relationships or no matter what it is that you're doing or how people respond to you, like she said, there was no ownership, when you have an expectation of how someone is going to respond to something that you've shared, that's kind of where friendships or relationships kind of fail, right? Because you have this expectation that they should do this or they should also put the equal amount of effort and different things. And when that doesn't happen, then you're essentially let down, right?
Yeah.
And so like I always have to remind myself, like, not everyone is necessarily like you or thinks like you or, you know, is good at planning things or all the different things to like not get super hurt in my feelings about that specific friend just because, you know, life happens. And I think sometimes you just have to move forward and just realize you're not in that same place.
Yes, definitely. So, it is hard for me because, like I said, I've had friendships before where it was really painful to just let them go.
Yeah.
And something that I was listening the other day, and I was like, this is something that we should talk in the podcast. I was listening to Oprah when she said, you cannot be friends with someone that has a pinch of jealousy
It's absolutely
towards
true.
you.
Absolutely 100%.
Like, there's no way that you can be friends with someone that has a certain level of jealousy, either to your personal, your family, or your business. How can we identify, ladies? Because sometimes we have those friends, right, that you think you get along so well, or you think that they have your back, that you think that they like. I mean, you have some bond, right? But sometimes there are certain behaviors, there are certain conversations, or there are certain things that they do. How can we spot jealousy in a friendship?
I think it's more so like an intuition or a gut feeling or something maybe other people maybe bring to your attention. That's actually happened to me before. My mom has said, like, I'd complain to her about like something that happened, and my mom would be like, well, they're jealous. And I'm like, what is there to be jealous of? You know, like, I root for all my friends. Like, what is there to be jealous of? And, you know, my mom's like, no, that's what it is. And I think at that point, it turns into one of those things where you have to set healthy boundaries. You know, when friendships start making comments like, oh, must be nice, you know, like that's such a, like.
Is that a new shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, things like that. Like, must be nice. Like, what must be nice?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly must be nice that, you know, they're talking about like something I might have. Oh, must be nice, whatever. I'm like, what must be nice? The fact that I work my butt off to have all of this or to have the things I have, like, I'm not going to apologize for that. But like certain comments like that are definitely jealousy comments, or when people make comments like, well, the only reason why you have that is because of this.
They don't want to
jealousy.
Because of what?
They don't want.
Jealousy?
They don't. They or they think that the only reason.
What do you mean?
Like, they don't want to acknowledge that the only reason why you've advanced or you've done well is because of the work that you've put in for whatever you're getting or whatever accolade. You know, it's because you're there because, oh, your husband, or you're there because your parents, or you're there because whatever, you know, like you inherited money or whatever the situation is. I'm just speaking in a general reference.
Yes.
But like when comments like that are made, it's kind of like, I'm not sure. You should be happy for me for the things that I have that you probably, as my friend, also benefit from. Right. Yeah. But sometimes you have to just be able to, I always say, you know, like, trust your gut because that bitch knows what's up. Okay. Like, if you get any kind of inclination, like, usually it's right. No matter what it is, friendship, business, relationships, husband, you get this any kind of gut about anything.
I think too, to tell, like, a lot of times jealousy comes out as like hate. Like, you can tell when somebody's hating on you for no good reason. You know what I mean? You're like, and you kind of have that feeling like, was that a passive aggressive like jab? You know what I mean? And you know, and you're thinking, that's supposed to be my friend. Like, what, did she mean that?
I know. When suddenly, like, you're like you have your girlfriend, right? And sometimes they say those like passive aggressive comments.
Yes, it's the passive aggressiveness.
To me, passive aggressive comments is like when you start detecting that little jealousy where you're like, why are you saying that? Oh, Posh, well, they like you because of this, or oh no, he's just calling you because of that, or little comments like that you're like, oh, bitch, you're being jealous about
hating
about your wait. Oh, and you know something because I meditate in some things, guys. I was thinking sometimes you think and you're like, what can this person be jealous about? Right?
I always think that. I'm like,
I
what
always
is there
think
to be
like,
jealous
what can
about?
you be jealous about? Like, there's nothing that you can be. I mean, sometimes you see someone and you're like, you're married with kids, beautiful home, you're selling. Like, why are you being
Well, because
mean?
you're seeing the good in somebody, so you're like, everything that you have going on is great. So why are you hating on me? You
I
know?
know, but I
Yeah.
heard the other day someone said, and I was like, oh, this is deep. Sometimes people are not jealous of what you have, but they're jealous of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people are not necessarily jealous of the car or the house. It's more about who you are, your vibe, your smile, you
So
know,
then
like
be better. That should inspire you to be better.
I
It's
know.
nothing to be jealous about.
And
That should regulate you. Like, oh my God, I love her. I love her energy. I want to be. I want to, surround yourself with people that inspire you, that you want to be around. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm jealous. Like, no one has time for that.
it's like in a real estate, that's a very common thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and this is what the podcast is for, guys. You know, we're gonna say the things that maybe other people don't say. I think in real estate it's very common. You know, we know a lot of people, we collaborate, we work together, but actually finding people that are honestly, truly happy for who you are and what you do or your success,
And rooting for you.
rooting for you, even if you're not successful or you're grinding or you're trying to hustle. It's really hard to find people that will actually have your back and that will actually be happy for something that you do.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not easy. It's very hard to find people that will actually support you sincerely, you know. And you have sometimes, you know, we know a lot of people and we surround with a lot of people, but I think I've developed this little, you know, and
Radar.
then
Your spidey senses?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, you cannot judge right away someone, but sometimes there's those little looks, those little things that you're like, And I don't want to sound like Bethany Franco, but for the most part, I'm always right. For the most part, I always go to the things. So in real estate, it's really hard, I would say, to find true friends that are realtors, people that you can actually collaborate. And sometimes you're like, well, I see this woman selling twice as I am. Why is she being passive aggressive?
I know. Usually you get hated on by somebody who's not doing as much as you. But
Exactly.
sometimes it can come from the other end too.
Because
Which is weird to me.
Yeah, I totally agree that you know, and yesterday I was talking on my stories, you know, and I was saying this. You will never see an eagle, right, trying to fight with a chicken for the prey. Like, you're never gonna see an eagle coming down, right, and try to put a fight with a chicken. Why would an eagle put herself on that situation?
Yeah.
Or you will never see a lion fighting with a lizard for the prey. Like, they're just in two different frequencies, like two different animals, right? So I think happy people or people that are actually focused on their stuff, right, won't really look down. Now, do we all are aware of our surroundings as realtors? Yes. Do we need to know who we're working with? Yes. Do you understand who's the realtors? Like, you know them? Yes. But I think there's a difference between like really always comparing yourself.
I was about to say that. I think it's critical that you're not scrolling through like, doom scrolling on Facebook saying like comparing yourself to somebody. It's natural, but what you should be doing is saying that inspires me. That person inspires me, not, oh, I'm going to hate on that person because I'm jealous of what they're doing or whatever. I'm comparing myself to them in a way that makes me feel bad about myself, you know?
And I think that's the difference. I think some people, it's a great line, admiration with like jealousy, right? I admire you. I admire you. Like, I think
Same
you
to you.
guys are amazing. But there's a difference from jealousy. Now, I've seen this a lot, and you have been in business a long time, Fancy. I think I see this trend a lot in real estate where you have you know, the beautiful, successful, young, happy realtor, right? And then immediately everybody else starts doing exactly the same, right? And sometimes it's like everything they do, they copy it. What do you think about that?
Nancy gets copied all the time.
Yeah, and it doesn't really bother me. Like, how's the saying go? Like, it's like the best form of flattery, something like that. Like, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. In all honesty, you're supposed to find someone that you like, and you're supposed to take what they do and do it yourself, but just put your own spin on it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel.
So it has never bothered you that someone maybe would try to do what you do?
No. And I like share all my stuff. Like people, like I did that. I did a client appreciation event where I hosted family photos, and I had like so many agents call me and were like, oh my gosh, where did you do this? Like people really liked it because all my clients were resharing it. And I was like, oh, this is the photographer I use. This is the place I booked it. This is that. Like I gave everything. Like I don't really care. Again, what's meant to be for you is going to be for you. But not everyone is like that. You know, like there's definitely agents that don't. There's definitely agents that, you know, they come on and, you know, they're so like like I sold this much and I do this and then it's just not.
But why it doesn't bother you? Because believe me, I've heard people and I've seen a lot of agents.
I know agents that really get mad, or they'll say, oh, you copied me, or oh, they block people. I guess it doesn't really bother me because I kind of feel like that's what everyone should be doing. Like if you watch all like Glenda Baker, we all know I love her.
Yes.
Like she will literally tell you, go stalk people on social media that you like what they're doing and then turn around and copy what they do, but just make it your own. Like, you know, her line is, oh, my stars, you know, like whatever her tagline is. But like you need to find something that resonates with you and you need to do it. Right. So it doesn't really bother me. I get copied all the time. Like, or somebody will be like, did you see they're doing this and this? And I'm like, so what? Like, I don't care. Like, I give my ideas away. Like, it's going to be copied, you know, like.
I've heard people that they get very personal when they're like, oh, this person is doing what I'm doing and this person is doing that.
But that in the end just means I'm doing something right.
Exactly. I think they say someone copying you is one of the greatest flattering, right?
Yeah.
That there is, because they like what you're doing.
Yeah.
They like something about you.
Right.
You know?
Like when you walk into somewhere and someone says like, oh, hi, Fancy, and you don't know them, but they know you, or they talk to you like, oh, what's on Fancy Friday, say whatever. Like that's branding, right? That's how you know that you've made it, where people you don't know recognize you and they know your brand and they know what it is that you're doing. And so I don't really think that, I feel like the people that are threatened by people copying is kind of like their own ego issue.
Yeah.
As opposed to really, because honestly, in this world, if you're not blessing others, how do you expect to be blessed?
And I think it's a scarcity mindset. The people who are bothered when they're copied, it's like there's enough room for everybody at the top. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I did the ice cream open house and this one realtor was like, oh my God, that was the cutest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, use my girl. She's so good. She's affordable. She'll come to you. She'll set up. She'll brand with you. Gave all my stuff. She's like, oh my gosh, you're so nice. I tried to get a Kona ice person from like another open house and the lady didn't want to share any of the information with her. And I'm like,
you know, I'm not going to lie to you. It took me a minute.
yeah.
Like say if I would do a post or a place or something in social media and someone would do it, it would bother me.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. Why? I think it was just being immature. It was, I guess, not understanding the concept of someone liking what you were doing. Like I saw it as like, oh, you're stealing my idea. Oh, can you not just be yourself? Or can you just like, why are you copying me? I think I feel more threatened by the person versus like actually being like, oh, great. So it took me a minute because it is a transition from like moving to being a normal person and moving to real estate. Is a whole different game changer, right? So to really have people watching what you do, it took me a minute to understand that it's like, you know what? This is actually good. It is actually nice to help someone.
Yeah.
Because I was like that, very gatekeeping. Like, No, I'm not going to tell you who my sources are. I'm not going to tell you where I got this, or you do it. You'll find it yourself.
The majority of the industry is like that. That's not just you.
Is.
It's literally like the majority of the industry. You don't find people that are willing to share. And I think that when you do share, they're like pleasantly surprised that you're sharing, you know. But I also think there's a very misconception about what it is that we do and how we do it, which we've spoken about before. Like, you know, I had a realtor the other day, like I posted my new listing and she was like, how do you get all these listings? You know, and she's over there and I'm like, well, these are all my past clients. And she's like, well, how do you get them to come back? And I'm like, well, I do 7 client appreciation events. I do this, like I do all these things. And she wasn't doing any of those things. I'm like, you just need to start with one. You know what I mean? I think it's getting over the hump of doing it. But it's like they see you with all these listings, but they don't realize what you've done to get all these listings.
All the work. But
they want to be you, but do they necessarily want to do the work to get to where you are?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at the end, everything is, you know, the system. I mean, it's the execution what makes the difference, right? When we're in real estate, because come on, it's selling the houses is the execution what makes the difference. But going back, I've you know, I was a young realtor, right? I only been a realtor 5 years, and it took me a minute. I think, thank God took me to a path where He surround me with women that are builders and leaders, and help me understand that it's like, hey, this is okay. Don't be so childish, gatekeeping, or be so childish getting upset because someone said or did something you did. That's a great thing, having influence on someone, a positive influence, right? But the thing is, now it's one of my, I truly desires and goals and passions to pour into people and build people, because again, I was surrounded by people that helped me shape a mindset of like, no, we don't gatekeep, we help, we pour into people, right? We don't keep it. That's selfish. You don't do that. Leaders build leaders, and you need to know how to do that, and that's just giving, right?
I think also at the end of the day, if we just look at the profit money piece of it, you're going to get paid in direct proportion to the amount of people that you help. And that includes people in your industry, you know, like, so.
It's like they say, like women supporting women, or, you know, all the things, like not just real estate, but like in life, like in order to be blessed, you have to bless, right? And so it's like you helping someone else start their dream. I mean, like there's not really a price tag that you could put on that.
No, there is not.
I mean, like somebody might be scared to take that step, or, you know, they just need that little push or that little guidance, and they get stuck. When people get stuck, they do nothing, right? Yeah. Like you completely shut down and you do nothing. So some people might just need that little push to get them over to actually do something, right?
Or some people just don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So
it's like, to somebody like I had this friend when in my office, and she would work all these leases, and she was top leasing agent. I mean, she would literally lease like 40, 50 properties. Like, and I like one day we were in there and I heard her on the phone, and she was trying to get paid from this one person, and, you know, whatever. And, you know, I'm over here just quietly working, and we were in the same thing. And then she said something like, oh, it's such a beatdown. I turned around and I said, can I ask you something? And she said, why do you work so hard on these leases? I was like, you should work smarter, not harder. I said, you're doing all these work. You've helped 50 people, which is an amazing thing. I said, but if you focused those 50 people on getting the ones that you've pre-leased into homes and moving them up, you would make so much more money. And you're still using your leases to make that money. And she was like, I never thought about it like that, because she would refer out. Oh. She would refer out her residential sales. She would be like, hey, Nancy, you want the sale? Pay me a referral fee, you know, because she focused solely on leases. And I'm like,
you know, you can make much money if you do your own residential.
I mean, I'll take your
thing, doesn't it?
Yes,
like,
but it was the mindset of being scared, right? Because she focused.
She didn't think she was capable of it.
She doesn't know the contract. Yeah. She doesn't know, because all she was doing was leases.
And
so that's what she knows.
Never had someone telling her, hey, girl, don't do these.
And I'm like, do you know how much money you get paid on a deal versus a lease? I'm like, let me just show you. And like literally like the next year she sold like 15 homes, and she literally was like, I would have never of even if you weren't like, why are you doing this? And I literally, you know, I'm a blunt person, as we know. And so I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you're killing yourself for leases. I'm like, now in my career, I only do leases for people that are referrals. I don't do leases like lease clients I'll refer it out to like a couple of the mentees that I have or whatever. I mean, I take leases and I'll list them, but like I don't really want to drive around town all day long to show leases, because for me, being away from my family, it's not worth it to me.
Yes.
The time cost isn't worth it for me. So I refer it out.
Yes. And that's the next thing I wanted to say. There are so many realtors in the industry that they're powerhouses. Like they sell a lot. And when you talk to these ladies, or actually, I think my conversation having more with women, they are so gatekeeping. Like they will not tell you, like they will actually avoid talking to you about real estate or their transactions. It's like, you're like, hey girly, da 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 da. And at the moment you start talking about something like just something to do with real estate, they avoid the topic, or they just will not. Or I've seen them with a lot of new Asians will come, or not so new, but just Asians in general. Hey girl, how do you sell so much? Because when you have an Asian that you see that they're producing, selling 20 homes a month, 17, 15 homes a month, you want to know as a realtor, what do you do?
Yeah.
How can you accomplish selling 15, 20 homes a month when I'm selling one? Like, what is so special about you? What are you doing? And I see a lot of those agents just shut down. Like, they shut down, they don't share, they don't say, they'll be like, oh, I just
They don't want to give up their competitive edge. It's
No.
scarcity mindset.
And they just
Yeah.
go, oh, well, I just post social media. I do too.
Yeah.
And it looks better than yours. So what is going on, right? And that's when we go back to the scarcity mindset, the jealousy, that sometimes it's not how much you sell or how much you do. It's just some people have that mindset. You have built a lot of leaders and you have built a lot of organizations. How have you dealt with agents that you find that mindset that you're like, no, we don't do this right like this?
I think as with anything in leadership, you lead by example. So if I'm willing to give anything I possibly can to anybody, hopefully people that I lead that'll kind of be caught. You know what I mean? Like almost like a contagion. Like they also will do the same. Oh, that's how we do things in this organization. We all open it up, right? So I think that is important. And then talking about the scarcity mindset. Like if I'm talking to a group of people and this topic comes up, and we talk about how like it's a Zig Ziglar quote, I think, or Jim Rohn, one of the two. That's like you can get everything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Mm-hmm. That includes agents in this business, right? And so if I'm talking to other leaders or other producers in this business, and that's the mindset that we're trying to all live by, or that's what we demonstrate, then hopefully they'll question themselves, like, am I like that? How am I acting? Am I acting scarcity mindset? Because, people don't realize it, I think. And if you don't bring it up and you don't put that on the table, maybe they never self-reflect in that way.
I've seen agents, really high-producing agents with that scarcity mindset. And I think, and I'm like, can you imagine if that person will understand the power of pouring into others, how their organizations will grow? Like the impact, forget about the organization or making money, the impact they will actually make on other people's businesses or lives. And of course, that kind of people don't think like that. They're like, I don't care about the other people's business. I don't care what they do. I'm here producing machine. I don't care what you do or you don't, which I respect, right? Not everybody has the leader mindset. But sometimes I see them and I'm like, man, can you imagine if this person would just understand the power of building others and making other people's lives just be successful, because the sun shines for everybody, right? There's plenty of business if you look for it. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish, but it's hard sometimes to get through some people. So I'll let you be, bitch.
There are some people that they are who they are. They're not going to change.
I'll let you, bitch. You do you. You want to be a selfish bitch. I'm a bitch. I don't care. Nancy, I'm sure, and that's, you're one of those. You sell a lot.
I mean, yeah.
Do you share? Do you, when people approach you, what do you do?
Oh yeah, I mean, people. I kind of feel like I'm an open book. I share. I mean, but I don't really have a secret. I pour back into my people. I mean, 95% of my business is all referral. I mean, they're all people that I've sold houses to that have referred me to other people. But I'm just a firm believer in life in general, that you should do whatever you can to make other people better. I mean, all my friends that have individual businesses, whether it's my balloon girl Misty or my makeup girl Hanadi or any of my friends
Shout out.
Yes, any of my friends that have their own business, I constantly always refer them and tag them. My Rosemary, the real estate bestie, I love Rosemary. I mean, we're not even at the same brokerage, and I shout her out all the time. Like, y'all need to go follow her podcast. She's amazing. You know, like I genuinely feel like I'm kind of just, I'm a woman. I'm all things women. I'm woman congratulator, girl power. I'm all the things. And so anything I can do to uplift another woman,
Well, we'll do it. Now,
Yes.
we're not perfect. It's a learning, right?
Yes.
Like we're on different stages and learning how to contribute,
Yes.
right, to others.
And I don't like when you say, oh, you sell a lot. It's a hard thing because it's like, I don't want my sales to define who I am, because I think that there's more to me.
Amen.
There's more to me than being sales. And I used to be, when I worked for a home builder, like that's kind of how they treated you. Like you were only good as your last sale. Like you come in, how many deals do you have this week? Oh, you have 2 deals. You know, okay, great. Next week you have no deals. Next week you have 5 deals. You know, when you have 5 deals, the builder's all about you. Anything you request, anything you ask for, they're all, you know, besties with you. The next couple weeks, they're not really reaching out to you. You know, like I don't want my sales to define who I am, right? Because this is a stage in my life. I feel like me as a person in general, I want to be known more than the girl that just sells a lot.
Correct. You don't want to just be defined as in your position, which
I want to have the image of people, oh, like, oh, she's a girl's girl. Like she's the person that I'm going to call if I need something. She's always there for me. She's this, like, that's kind of the role that I've kind of taken, the responsible role in my relationships in general. And so I just don't think just not focusing totally on sales, like, yes, I sell a lot, you know, like Nicole will tell me more about my sales than I know, and that's like,
She doesn't know her numbers.
I don't know my,
okay.
yeah. Like yesterday, I like said to Nicole, I was like, oh, look, I'm number 10. She's like, do you know how many people there are in the company to be number 10? Like, and I'm like, no. And she's like
90,000 agents.
yes. So she's like,
Fancy Nancy.
she's like, you know, but I'm like in her
She's like,
down.
I'm having a crappy year. I'm like, what does that tell you about the year? It
Yeah.
doesn't- you know what I mean?
I'm like,
Everybody's
really?
having a
Because I
crappy
have
year.
10 listings. I was like, I've closed 1 deal. You know, I'm used to closing 5 or 6 deals. It sounds bad, like, as I'm talking about it, which is
Listen,
why I don't like to talk about numbers and sales, right? Because relative to another agent that's struggling or closing, like, you never want to sound like insensitive. But like for my scenario and my normalcy, it's not a great year. You know, I'm still doing better than a lot of people, but
If I was number
Thousands.
10, I'll be blasting in social
I know.
media. I am number 10 from 90,000 agents.
Yes.
Suck it.
yeah.
I know.
Like, I know myself. I'm not so, I am nice, but I'm not so humble. I'll be like, I'm number 10.
Boom.
Yeah, and
Mic drop.
and like the thing is I don't even know. Like Nicole will text me and tell me, like, you know, like, I just saw the da da da, and I'm like, oh, and she's like, oh, like, could
Well,
you?
that's how much you don't want to be defined by your sales. You don't even know what
Yeah.
your sales are.
It's like, I think Nancy's
Yeah.
it's just like that typical rich people where you're like, oh, money doesn't matter. Yes, you know.
I just am not.
When they tell you, are you rich? I'm comfortable. And you're like, no, you're loaded.
Do you sell a lot? Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I just sell like 100 homes a year.
No, I think
No big deal.
no, whatever, you guys. Like the question is very relative to like what you're. I mean, I just.
Yes,
We
it
got
is.
you,
We get
Nancy.
We get you,
You would
Nancy.
love to sell, but at the same time, there's more than just
We get it. You're a
sales.
badass.
We get it. You're a
Okay.
badass. We
I
get it.
just am like it's not the only thing I do, guys.
And this is something that I want to really emphasize in this podcast. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. When you're in real estate, it's a tough game. It is a tough journey. It's not easy. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, competition, backstabbing, anything you want to call it. It's not easy. As you start your journey, you think it's just about posting pictures or doing home tours. It's more than that. It's building a business from the ground up. And there's a lot of implications, a lot of growings. it's no, sometimes in real estate is who you become in the process. It's not necessarily the production, and the sales is who you become in that process, right? And that's why it's so important to find the right mentors, the right coaches, because not even if you have a coach, you might not vibe or have the same goals. Maybe that coach is very strategic and it's great at what they do, but do they vibe with you? Do they have the same goals that you have? Do they see life the way you do?
Do they believe in you?
Do they believe in you?
Well, and I think that's the importance of having an accountability person in general, in life, not in just in real estate, in life. You have to have that person. You have to have your
coach, your mentor, your people, your tribe.
Or even your friend, going back to friendships. And that friend has to not be the friend that's like a yes friend. That friend has to be the friend that's a truth friend, like that tells you about yourself, because that's real friendship.
I get, with those kind of friends, I'll be like, okay, bye, bitch. I don't want to talk to you right now because I know they're about to tell me the truth.
Yeah, but that says, but Posh,
but then I'll call, but then I'll call back. Okay, tell me what is your
yeah, like you have to be able to have like those conversations. And if I have a friend where I'm like, I literally like will give like a disclaimer. Okay, what I'm about to say right now is not going to be very nice, but it's something that you need to hear. And then I'm like, blah 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 blah. But I also am that person that when my friends call me, they're calling me because I am that person, and they know that I'm going to tell them the truth. So at least how I see it, right? And so they're not expecting, I'm not the yes friend. Like if you want to call like a yes friend or, oh, this girl did this and this and this and I'm so mad about this, and then me, oh, let's go kick her ass. I'm not that person. I'm the, well, why do you think that she reacted to you that way?
Sometimes I don't like those friends. Yes, I have them and I love them and I love you because, but those, I'm not going to talk to this bitch right now because I know what she's going to tell me. Yeah. But I know eventually when I hear that.
Yeah.
But those are your real friends.
I agree. And I also think, though, it's important to distinguish between that type of person, like a Nancy, and somebody that literally like dims your light, like sucks the soul out of you. Yes. So there's a difference. There's a huge difference. Do not surround yourself with people that you feel drained of energy after you get done with them. You want to surround yourself with people that you feel more energy after talking to them, that they bring out the best in you, even in truth.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put all your friendships in brackets, right? Like you have the friends that are like, know your friends is basically what it comes down to. Like you have to have the friends that are like, okay, these are my going out friends. These are my friends that I go shopping with. These are my friends that, I go with. Yes, these are my mom friends. These are my friends that I go get drunk with. These are my friends that I go do this with. This is my friend that I call when I have an emergency. This is my friend that knows my family. Like you have people and you have your friends, and not one friend is all the is all the things, right? Like you have friends in specific categories. You know that one friend that's always going to have your back. You know that one friend that's going to fight for you. You know that one friend that's just going to be your yes when you need a wingman. When you're pissed off about something and you just want that person to be like, oh, screw her, da 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 da. You need that friend too, right? But you also need the ones that can really tell you about that. And if you can't have those friends, Posh, that can tell you about yourself and when you do something wrong, then that's a thing too, right? Because that says something about your friend. Like, are you keeping people around just for your own sake? Or are you keeping people around because they're really your friends? Because like I have friends that like I don't speak to every day. They don't even live in the same state. But if I was to pick up the phone and call them and tell them something, like they know that I'd be there in a minute and they would be here in a minute. They're friends that will always hold a place in my heart. I grew up with them. They know more about me at times in my life than I knew about myself, right? But they're also those friends where I remember one of my friends got married on my birthday. I'll never forget this. She got married on my birthday, and it was out of state, and I was complaining about how I have
How dare she?
Yeah, I was complaining, in my in my younger life, not less mature. I'm like, I have to go to this wedding on my birthday. Like, I want to do this, this, and this. And I was like in the wedding, right? Well, then during the wedding, my friend like stops her whole entire wedding and brings out a birthday cake for me.
I did that for my friend.
And puts the birthday cake in front of me, right?
That's a nice friend.
My guest, my plus one, was my best friend. And my best friend turns to me and like they're all singing me happy birthday this wedding. And she turns to me and she goes, "Don't you feel like a bitch now?" because I've been complaining about how I have to go to this wedding. And she was absolutely correct, right? Like, that's a true
Sure
friend.
do.
Like, you've been sitting here bitching that it's your birthday and you have to be in this wedding, this and this. And now this girl just stopped her whole wedding to wish you a happy birthday. And she was like, don't you feel like a bitch now? And I was like, damn.
Yes, I do.
Damn, you're right. Like, yes, I totally feel like a bitch, right? But that's the right kind of friend, is my point, right?
It is.
She checks me. She checks me when I'm having like a all about me moment, right? Again, I'd like to preface this that was in my 20s when I was like super immature. But,
We grow. We all grow.
You
We
know,
all grow.
it happened. It was a growing moment.
Yes, but but this is the thing. It's really hard to find a friend with that balance, because I love what you're saying. We have sometimes those friends that I've had friends where every time I talk to them, I feel like I'm being a bad friend. Or like this past, like you come with a situation and they drain you, right?
Yeah.
So there's a balance from someone, I would say, giving you the
The
check,
truth.
the
Yeah.
truth, versus someone criticizing
Yeah.
you, judging you. There's a difference.
Well, I think that's where the boundaries come in, right? And you have to
that's
have
where-
boundaries
And
of
discernment. Like,
Yeah.
you got to know the
Because
difference.
you have those friends like, oh, well, bitch, I always tell you the truth. Yes, but there are times, there are places, and there are situations.
And there's a way that you can deliver truth.
Again,
Yes.
know your friends. That's all it comes
Know
down
your
to. Know your
friends.
friends. Know what they're going to do. Know which ones are going to be on time. Know which ones are going to be late.
I'm
know
always 5 minutes late.
We know. You know what I'm saying? Know your friends. Like, I already know. I was like, okay, I don't need to stress because Posh is going to be
But
late.
this is with you. I'm only 5 minutes. With some people, I'm 10. So, you see?
See, I'm special.
Yes.
Oh, but the point is that, like, you have to know. Like, people are, like, I'm normally first. Because time is a thing for me, right? And I don't like to be late. My mom always taught me if you're on time, you're late. So I'm normally the first one, you know? But everyone, again, know your friends, know the people you hang out with. It all goes back to the same realm of you have to know, because you can't expect the friend who is your party friend when, oh, you're having a serious moment, you know, you just got in a car wreck, to be like, oh my God, girl, like, that's not going to happen. She's going to be like, oh, well, so what are we going to do? We're going to get you a new car? You know, it's not going to be like the empathy or whatever it is that you're looking for at that moment.
So the bottom line is
Know your friends.
know your friends. Know.
Have true friends.
Have truth friends.
Be able to hear the truth from your friends. And then
And
also
have
have
lots
the
of friends. Have friends that fulfill all those different
Categories.
specialized categories, all the needs, because I think it's important to, especially it's hard as we get older, to like purposefully make new friends.
Yeah.
But that is something that if you do that deliberately, you can start to build friendships even in your 40s.
Yeah.
And
I have some friends that, you know, watch my kids and they don't have kids. I have some other friends that I would never leave my kids with,
Yes, no, definitely.
you know, and so again, it's just,
is that why you've never called me to babysit?
oh, stop. She's lying. She's totally lying. I'll be out of town. I'll be like, Nicole, my mom is at home with Cairo and he's been in the house all day because my mom doesn't drive with him. Can you go get Cairo and take him somewhere? Thank you. So she's totally lying.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that you have certain friends, again, that they could be your closest friend, but you wouldn't leave them with your kid because they're not kid oriented, or you just don't feel it. You get what I'm saying.
Liz, to me, friendships are a beautiful thing. And I
Yes.
think friendships are a gift from God.
Yes.
The people that you walk a path with. And I even enjoy so much when I meet people in business, because you know, we don't do what we do as a job. It's part of our lives, it's part of our careers. So when you find friends that you can build businesses and help other people, it's like, what else can I ask for, right? When you have people by your side. So to me, friendships are soulmates, because let me tell you, I can have several romantic partners, boyfriends, husbands. They come and go. I'm having like my
Okay,
third, fourth one. You know, men come and go, right? And of course, I'm praying for one to stay forever and ever. Hopefully, if not, it's fine. But my girlfriends, they stay with me forever and ever, right? Some, like we started the episode, you know, we parted ways and it's okay. But you know what? I remember them with love. Like those friends that are not longer with me, that we either moved states or they got married and moved away, or we just don't vibe anymore because we're in different stages of our lives, I still cherish them. And I remember those times because they were in my life for a reason. And there were lessons and memories and things that we cherish, and I love them, right? And it's part of like continue evolving and meeting new people and doing new things and growing. So to me, friendships are a blessing and they're a gift from God. And it's so important to choose your people.
Yes. And, I think it's also really important to make sure you have those friends that even if you don't talk to them on a daily basis, they're still like your friends, like in your heart, and you know them because, as we transition in life and we get busier and busier and kids and all the different things, like I don't have as much time for my friends. Or by the time I'm done with my kids, I'm so exhausted that I don't really have time. But like I have friends that I don't talk to every single day, or I don't talk to every week, or maybe every few weeks, but I could pick up the phone and it's like we click, like we just hung up the phone, or, like they're right there. And it's like those friends that you have will always be your friends. You're always like, always be like part of your like friendship and where you're at. And I think that that's important to recognize as well.
Yes, it is very important to, there's different stages of life, and cherish your friends. Like I have friends, there are friends that you talk to every day, right? And there are some other friends that you don't talk to them every time, like once every month or whatever. But when you see them, it's like nothing.
Right.
Like time has not passed.
Right. Exactly.
You just reconnect and it's always there.
I love those friends.
And then you have friends of friends, like friends that you're friends with because you're friends with someone else. Like
you have very high maintenance friends. Those are hard for me right now because I'm always very busy.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't want to be the friend that, you're always busy. I sadly I am, right? But I still love you.
Yeah.
And I still watch you on Instagram, making sure you're okay. If you're okay, I'm okay. Not talking to you. But yeah, they are friends like that. So yeah. Once again, just remember, it's very important to have your friends. Another thing before we end the podcast, because I do want to talk about this. Some women say, I'm not a girl's girl. I don't have friends. To
That's
me,
sad.
sorry if this sounds wrong. I don't want to be mean. But to me, when someone tells me I'm not a girl's girl, I don't have friends, I do things by myself, I'm a wolf and I do things alone, or I'm just not a girl's girl, to me, that's a red flag. Again, if someone that is listening to us, it's in that situation, I'm not trying to be judgmental. But to me is, if you're not a girl's girl or you don't have your tribe, not even 2-3 friends close to you, that says something about you. To me, why can you not have at least 2-3 girls that are your girlfriends? I'm not talking about 20 girlfriends, 30 girlfriends, and have, we do, right? In our business, we have a lot of friends. But like,
I think sadly it goes back to somebody once told me, like, to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And I think that people struggle if they miss the part that is you have to be a friend. What does that mean? It means giving of yourself. It means being there for somebody. It means checking on somebody. It means trying to make a plan. It means connecting with somebody, right? And if you don't have that ability, naturally you're not going to have friends. If you don't think about that, if you're almost maybe too selfish or something, I don't even know what it is. It could be a number of things. Or maybe that person, maybe you're a girl who got burned by other girls, and so you're scared to put yourself out there again, right?
I just don't trust when someone like says, I'm not a girl's girl, I don't have friends, I just do things on my own. I'm like, why?
There was a period in my probably middle school era or so where I only had a couple of girlfriends, and I kind of thought that about myself at one point, that because I was kind of a tomboy, like I played sports, like I get along better with boys, and I did for a period of time in my life. But I think it was because there was a couple of girls early on in my journey that were just bitches, like just bitches, and it almost like put a damper on girl friendships for me for a minute, because I didn't want to put myself out there to people that were that mean. I mean, you hear about mean girls.
Yes.
There are some mean ass girls.
Yes.
And so I'm glad I got over that, because at this point in my life, I don't know what I would do without girlfriends. Like, I don't know what I would do.
Girlfriends are my support system, because going back to, I guess I went all over the place when I was saying about the partners. I just had a breakup like less than a year ago. And honestly, it was a very toxic ending. But what helped me was my support system because it was a very horrible, toxic ending relationship that I was broken in pieces. Like it was not me anymore. I've lost myself. It was just bad. And we'll talk about it in another episode. But the point is that I had just ended a relationship of 3 years where I was left. Posh was gone. It was not Posh anymore. And having my support system, I even want to cry about it, because having the right people around me, the support system, it really helped me to continue pushing through.
I know. You can look back at that probably and be like, and I don't want to speak for you, but like almost like, if I didn't have the support system, would I still be in that toxic situation? You know what I'm saying?
Probably. Yes, because they're the ones who are always on my ear. Posh, what are you doing with this guy? Posh, this guy is doing things they don't supposed, like, you're just, like, when, I think I would see in their face, like, what are you doing with this guy? When are you gonna leave him, right? And I finally did. They didn't believe me I was gonna do it. But it was not like, it wasn't like so direct. Like, it was just them being there. Just being like, Posh, we're going to go to lunch. Posh, we're going to do this. Posh, what do you need? To the point, like, when things got very nasty, they were like, we're going to go get you out of that house right now. And that's when I realized, you know, when you're in those situations, who's really your friend, when they were really, truly concerned to the point that they were like, we're going to get you a place to stay, right? So that's when you, like, really see your friends. And that's why when I go back to the topic of, like, yes, it's beautiful, you know, have your marriages and having your relationships. But as a woman, it's so important to have your support system, which are your friends, because they're the ones that sometimes that's why instead of bitching to the husband, you call your friend and bitch about the husband so you don't bitch with him, right? Like you just, so in that way, when you come home, you already let it out of your system. You're like, okay, I'm not bitching with you, so I already talked about you with my friend. So it's so important to have a support system. Once again, just to wrap it up, right? My final thought is, find your tribe, choose wisely, have a support system, because they're your long. You're walking with path with your friends makes it easier.
Absolutely. I guess my final thought, this just popped into my head, is that they've done studies, like your life expectancy is way higher if you have a good community of friendships around you. So I think that's super interesting. Like we actually need it to be able to live well, you know? So.
And my final thought is be a girl's girl, because we're just better. And everyone needs a girl's girl, and share with others, be an open book, inspire others, help others. That's mine.
Thank you for watching us. Bye.